It's real, it's raw, couple on a journey. We love hard, we laugh loud, we stay worthy. We've been through storms, we still hold hands. Love ain't perfect.
Hey, what's up, good people? My name is Joe.
And my name is Nyamu.
And together we are
a couple on a journey. And
Yes.
just want to shout out to all the couples out there who are also on their own journey. We
you
see
and
them.
you. We see you. We see you.
Yeah.
So this is where we talk about marriage. We talk about real conversations. No sugarcoating,
That's true.
no fluff, just the real deal. Honest conversations about marriage.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think we should say that the podcast is, of course, called Couple on a Journey Podcast.
Come on.
And so we are glad that you guys are watching. Please
Yeah.
remember to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button.
And ring that bell to know when we are on.
Yeah.
So let's be honest. A lot of couples are suffering.
Okay.
A lot of couples are suffering in marriage, and that's the topic that we want to talk about today.
Oh, yeah.
Suffering in marriage.
Yes.
Because
I think it's one of those topics that no one wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean that couples are suffering in marriage? Yeah, but I think it happens more than people want to talk about.
Yeah. People, because you get married and then you're expecting a happily ever married life.
Yes, happily ever after.
Happily ever after. You know, the Instagram cute photos.
Oh, yes.
You know, the vacations. They call them vacations. Yeah. But lo and behold, life happens.
Yeah.
And then, suffering comes in and you're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing that most couples don't consider is life can happen. Life generally will happen, whether you're married or not.
Absolutely.
But I think what we do is we think the ring makes us exempt from suffering. We're like, now I'm married, I will suffer less. And then when you start suffering, it really causes a major issue on your marriage. Yeah.
You just feel like you made a wrong mistake. Yeah.
You even think you married the wrong person. You're like, if I had known, I should have married the other guy or the other chick.
I know.
Yeah.
But like somebody who's watching, what if I told you that suffering in marriage doesn't actually mean that you married wrong?
Come on.
It doesn't mean that it could actually mean that God is doing something in your marriage. Yeah, it could be the key to unlock you to the next level.
I think you need to say that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to say it. Just need to repeat it for good measure.
Yeah. So suffering in marriage doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. It could mean that God is truly working in your marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of us grew up thinking marriage is going to be this like adventure, and it really is an adventure. But it's not that. It's like more like a journey on a ship.
It's a roller coaster.
Storms. It's a roller coaster.
It's like a roller coaster. Yeah.
There are times when you're screaming your head off.
I know.
All right, but I think a lot of us came into marriage with very ideals.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes these ideals could be the reason why you're not even enjoying marriage.
Wow.
Because if you came into marriage as this is the way it's supposed to be, happily ever after.
Yeah.
And then something happens, suffering checks in, you realize that this is not what you signed up for.
It's true. Yeah, and I think we come into marriage with these ideas. But it's funny you should say that, because a lot of us grew up in homes that were not happy. So our parents didn't have good marriages.
Yeah.
But then we are trying to run away from that. But also, we grew up watching movies, sitcoms, where marriage was portrayed as being, happily ever after.
Yeah.
But then the downside is a lot of people get married at the end. So all you see is the dating journey.
I know.
And then the movie ends with people getting married. And so we are left here like, okay, so how exactly is marriage supposed to be?
Yeah.
And so then we bring all those baggage
marriage.
into marriage, and we're like, what is this supposed to be like?
Yeah. And you realize nobody even told us that marriages do bleed.
Yeah.
There are seasons that marriages bleed. And you are not told.
Yeah. Hardly are couples prepared for stress.
Yeah.
or any suffering,
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's funny because the vows say it in sickness, in health, in poverty.
Yeah.
But when health and sickness and poverty shows up, you're like, eject right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Even Jesus, if you think about it, even Jesus, and Jesus was God's own son. And this is what it says in Hebrews 5:8, that Christ Jesus himself had to learn obedience, and that obedience was through suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's easy for someone to say, but Jesus was not married. But I think
Yeah.
the point is not that Jesus was not married. I think the point is no one is exempt from going through hardships.
Yeah.
In as much as we don't want to go through them, and in as much as we try, the thing even with us Christians is this is what we do. You're going through a hard time and you're thinking, God, whatever you want me to learn, let me learn quickly.
Yeah.
Teach me quickly.
Yeah.
But I think God is a patient teacher.
Yeah, and it's about learning. I mean, learning is a process. Let me just put it like that. That learning is a process. But in many of us, it's almost like somebody calls us the microwave generation, where we want things fast.
Yeah.
I remember when we were dating, and when we were praying for our marriage, one of the things that we were praying for is God, give us a happy marriage. May we show people like truly godly marriages do work. And then after we have prayed, we used to go to the mountain to fast. We get into marriage, and then boom, suffering. Like, God, this is not what we signed up
That's
for.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think for me, I'm like, class is always in session. God is always teaching us things. And sometimes he teaches, not that he teaches us with suffering, but there's always something for us to learn as we're going through tough season.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I just want us to talk about what suffering does. Yes. What does suffering expose? Because I know suffering exposes hidden issues in us, right? Yeah. So
I think, I'm thinking about it like in terms of a pressure cooker. Like, you know how you cook stuff? Because they're the old school ones.
Yeah.
The ones that make a whistle.
Yeah.
If you open that thing when the pressure is high,
that's it.
But
You're
next
cooked.
thing you know,
You're cooked.
You're cooked.
Yeah.
But it's the same. When pressure is high in a marriage, it actually exposes what's inside of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I kind of remember. It reminds me of, earlier on in our marriage when things were thick. Like, it was hard. We used to live in South Sea, and South Sea is just close to the city. It's actually city living, right?
Yeah.
And we couldn't afford that rent. We had to move further away and into a small house. I thought I was built for this, but the suffering that we endured, for me, I just imploded.
Yeah.
I imploded. I was in this place. I was not handling it really properly because I was feeling like I've not only failed as a man, but I failed you, as a husband. And that really got into me, Yeah.
While you are an imploder, I'm an exploder.
Yeah.
So then God pairs us together, imploder and exploder.
Yeah.
So me, I explode. Like, I remember I could get extremely angry at you, and it could show.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the fears. Because I was like, wait, are we going to be stuck here forever? Like, is this now our life?
Yeah.
Will we be broke forever? And pressure really does reveal what is inside.
Yeah, I remember you when you were exploding. For me, I was imploding, and I wasn't really, it. When I come to think about it, it was actually pride. Pride was masking itself in that, like, I want to handle this by myself. I got this, but in the real sense, I didn't have it.
Yeah.
I had not surrendered the situation, the season to God. Yeah, and it showed a lot of pride in me. Yeah.
And I think that's why many couples quit, especially when it gets really tough.
Yeah.
Because they're like, can I really go through this?
Yeah.
Like, when God reveals ugly in you, our first instinct is to just be like, I don't want to deal with this part of me.
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, and that's the issue about pain and suffering. This suffering, this pain in suffering, and many people or many couples think that it is their special pain.
Yeah.
You know, this is my suffering. This is what I'm going through. This is my struggle. You know, yeah.
I think all couples, when they're going through a hard time, imagine no one else has gone through this. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and I think even for us, we went through that.
Yeah.
There's no way anyone knows what we're going through,
Yeah.
but you'll be shocked. The problems that couples have they're not exclusive
Yeah.
to you. A lot of couples have gone through them. They're currently going through them.
Yeah.
Since the day of Adam and Eve, people have been going through these problems.
Yeah.
And I think for me that gives me hope
Yeah.
to know that any suffering that any couple is currently going through, someone
Yeah.
has walked the journey before them.
Let's talk about Job in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, for him, he was like, I mean, he was going through suffering. He thought that it was his own suffering until there's a point that he started cursing the day that he was born.
Yeah.
You know, he thought this pain that he was feeling was like some premium sort of pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
bespoke pain for him.
Bespoke pain.
Yeah.
No, but then that's our attitude to pain and
Yeah.
suffering. We're like, this thing is very, it's me. And it's easy then for us.
Yeah.
What to do is that we focus on our pain.
Yeah.
We focus on the pain and we forget that there's actually God. Yeah.
And Job and God was actually asking Job, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Where were you?
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, God was actually telling him, have you forgotten who I am? Yeah. Because it's very easy for us to you know, wrap ourselves up in suffering and we forget who God is.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you forget who God is, it also means you're forgetting his power.
Yeah.
Because God is the one who can redeem, God is the one who can restore, God is the one who can turn your situation around.
Yeah.
And so we have to keep, literally, even in the midst of such suffering
Yeah.
and agony, is to remember that God is still God.
Yeah. Maybe there's the couple's watching in this space and you're going through this pain and you're feeling, man, nobody understands what I'm going through.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that there is, you know, there's in the book of, you know, 1 Peter 5:9, it says, there's nothing that you're facing that is uncommon. So please hear me out. Your pain is not special pain. God knows your pain and he's there with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about also, you know, how do we shift from that pain, that space of pain and suffering? How do we shift?
Yeah.
Because you know, there's a way that you can exchange that pain for strength.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There's only one way, and that way is prayer.
Prayer.
Yeah, prayer.
Like like me, I'm feeling pain and just prayer.
But it's not prayer like talking to God. It's actually an exchange.
Okay. Oh yeah, I get it. I
Okay,
get it.
are you understanding?
Yes, I'm understanding. I
Yeah.
love that. That's a, like prayer becomes it's almost like the currency, the medium of exchange.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when you think of an exchange, you're giving,
Yeah.
but also receiving.
Yeah.
So prayer becomes not you giving, but also receiving. It's in that place of prayer that you'll receive a word for your tough season. It's in that place of prayer where your garment of, you know, that song for Hillsong, I'm trading in.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trading my pain, I'm trading my sorrows for the joy of the Lord.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I mean it makes sense, you know, because God himself says that I'm going to take this beauty for ashes.
Oh, yes.
You know,
That's true.
A garment of praise
for a spirit of heaviness.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
prayer. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And let me say this
yeah.
before we go on. I think it's in our hardest seasons of life that people need to pray, but also it's in the hardest season of life that people don't pray. You feel helpless. You feel
Word.
why should I even bother?
That's true.
But there is power in praying even in that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when you get the strength, you get a divine kind of strength to go through the season.
Yeah, but when you think about it, when you're going through a hard time, because now it's you've already customize that pain, specialized pain. This is what I'm going through. You don't go, these couples, they don't go to church.
Oh, yeah.
They don't pray. They don't read the Bible. They disconnect from the people who are supposed to like really, pour into their lives.
Yep.
And then they end up isolated. And the enemy really loves being like people who are isolated.
Loves them.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, so it's a season. It's a season to go deeper. That's what I'm hearing you saying. Like even Jesus, at some point when he went through suffering.
That's true. At the Garden of Gethsemane. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he prayed even the more.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Because it says he was in agony, but he prayed more earnestly.
Yeah.
And so the deeper the agony,
Yeah.
the more earnest our prayers should be.
Yeah. And it's not about feelings. We say it's not about feelings. It's about really just saying, you know what? I'm going to get down there. I'm going to pray. God, I'm still going to trust in you. Even in this hard season, I'm still going to trust in you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we can talk about then what are the practical steps for couples?
Yes, let's talk about the practical steps.
Yeah.
Because I mean we've heard that suffering is not uncommon to married people, and it doesn't mean that your marriage is you're married wrong when you're suffering. Suffering, don't specialize suffering. Okay? And the third one was praying. Prayer. Yeah. But now what are some of those those practical steps that like 1, 2, 3 steps that we could leave these people with?
Number 1,
Yeah.
normalize suffering. I know no one wants to hear that.
Normalize.
Normalize things.
Yeah.
But John 16:33 says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace.
Yeah.
In this world you will have trouble. Not in this world you may.
Yeah.
It's an assurance that you'll have trouble.
Yeah.
But it goes on to say, take heart, I have overcome the world.
Come on.
The people who are able to overcome sufferings are those ones who anticipate it. We like to describe marriage as a voyage on a ship, and you will definitely meet a storm. What's number 2?
I think number two for me would be just don't ride solo. Don't suffer in silence, because that's what the enemy loves. Once he separates you like this, then he can continue like really doing damage in your marriage. Hook up with people who can speak into your life. Could be like people in your church circles or your mentors, trusted people around you, so that you do not get into that space of being solo, because you become a victim of attack.
That's true. Yeah. Number 3 is pray. I know we already talked about prayer, but pray together.
Yeah.
It's easy for couples to pray separately. And I think that's what a lot of Christian couples do.
Yeah.
But pray together.
Yeah.
And sometimes we overthink this thing, but it doesn't need to be that complicated.
Yeah.
Even when you can't pray, just hold hands and say, Lord, thank you. I thank you for my husband. I thank you for my wife. I thank you for this marriage. Help us in Jesus' name.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I think number 4 for me will be tied to what you just said. It will be speak words of life. Speak words of life. When you're going through suffering, don't be like Adam, who says, this is the woman you gave me. Speak words of life to each other. Empower each other, because when you speak words of life, when you speak positively, you speak life into the marriage. You get to a point where in the Bible they talk about the dry bones, and God was saying, speak to these dry bones. If the words can resurrect dry bones, it means that your words can also revive your marriage.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. So in closing,
Speak life.
yeah, speak life. Yeah.
To wrap this up.
Yeah, so let's wrap this up, like family. Maybe you're here, you're thinking, are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? Just be encouraged that it is a season. It is a season. Don't end up dying in the wilderness. Trust God with your pain, trust God with your suffering, and He will see you through.
I love it.
Yeah.
You will make it.
Yeah.
You will make it. And I think the other thing I have to add is, do not idolize your pain.
Oh,
it's
yes.
very easy to make your pain an idol. surrender it to God. Take it to God. He'll use it for growth. Yeah.
You know, suffering is, I believe suffering is the beginning of something so beautiful. It is the recipe for something that is beautiful.
Yeah.
So do not quit. Your story is not over.
It's not over. You need to, someone needs to hear this. It's not over. You know, it's funny you should say it's the recipe for something beautiful, because ashes make the best fertilizer. I know.
Oh, wow, that's true. Ashes make the best fertilizer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a word.
And so even in this season where you feel everything is being burned, just remember that God is doing a new thing.
Yeah.
And that this too shall pass.
Yeah.
Because He is faithful and you'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And if you are in this space, let me just say this in closing. If you're in a space where you need to talk to someone and you don't know who to talk to, you can always reach out to us. We would love to pray with you. We would love to, to walk with you. If you need counseling or if you need some marriage mentorship, please don't be afraid to reach out to us.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We are here for you.
Yeah.
We are here to walk the journey.
Yeah.
This journey as couples together.
Yeah.
And so, we've come to the end.
Yeah, we've come to the end of it all.
Of this podcast.
Thank you for listening to us. See you on the next channel, See you on the next episode.
Oh, yes. And don't forget to subscribe,
like, and ring that bell. Come on.